Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and I want to travel through time, not to the future, but we're going to go wibbly wobbly wibbly wobbly all the way back to the past, all the way back to February this year. For it was in February, if you cast your mind back, when Michael Matheson finally threw in the towel, admitted he was wrong, and resigned from government. Not from Parliament, of course, no, got to keep that money flowing in. But he did go from government. And the reasons were quite clear. He went on holiday, he used £11,000 of public money, he said it was his children watching football. Nobody believed that. He made a fraudulent claim. He lied to the authorities, he lied to the press, he lied to the people, he threw his children under the bus, and he was seen as an utterly disreputable little oik, and all because he wanted to knock one out, I believe, in Morocco. He had a little bit of a fondling session in Morocco and didn't want to cough up £11,000 for the privilege. He did get £12,000 tax-free though, so that was nice. However, this resignation came, I think it was in the same week as Alina Whittam as well, another one that just couldn't do her job. And off he went, and that meant we got Neil Gray, yet another loser in health, because you can't put anyone any good in health, can you? They're all been failures. You have to look at all the succession of health ministers, and they're all completely useless. So Gray joins a very ignoble list. But it's now been revealed, thanks to a Freedom of Information request, that Chris Mackey, who is a very, very senior civil servant, was very displeased that Michael Matheson has gone. Now, surely the civil service are meant to be impartial, but not in Scotland, of course. The civil service are merely the admin wing of the SNP, and they have a lot of power accordingly, but they should not be doing things like this. But we do have an email that's been released under a Freedom of Information request, and I'm going to read it out to you. This is to a whole bunch, names redacted generally, but who it's come from isn't. So it goes, "Good afternoon all. I also wanted to acknowledge the challenge that many of you across the division now have in the coming weeks following the mini reshuffle yesterday." That was following Alina Whittam going, and of course Michael Matheson. Clearly, in circumstances of ministerial changes, these were unwelcome. Unwelcome? Why is a civil servant saying that a change of personnel is unwelcome? Very weird. But the First Minister has expressed his confidence in the new ministerial team. The First Minister, if you remember, expressed his confidence repeatedly for many months in Michael Matheson. And indeed, one could say that it was that confidence and loyalty to Matheson that helped ultimately to oust Humza Yousaf. Anyway, he continues. I am grateful for all the ongoing support ministers in new positions as well as first-time ministers, and I had the forthcoming recess to give some breathing space to ensure those ministers are up to speed. But that there, the changes were unwelcome. When you have a senior civil servant expressing things like that about the government, it goes to show that the civil service in Scotland is not fit for duty. It is biased. It is not good. Now, the Tories, of course, are saying that it's just an absolutely shameful expression by this civil servant. He needs to be fired or at least moved out of his current position. And they're saying that the whole of the civil service really is biased towards the SNP and needs a root and branch change. But they're saying the worst of it, of course, is that the civil service were backing Matheson when Matheson was clearly a wrong-'un, attempting to defraud the people of Scotland and lying about it. And the civil service were backing him. Makes you wonder what they're up to as well. The shit hits the fan and it flies everywhere, doesn't it? It's not good. It's not good. It's not wise, and they need to keep their mouths shut and not express opinions on matters like this. But they're always going to, because they've been given that power to do so. Now, of course, shortly later, it all started going a bit wrong for Humza Yousaf. Eventually, of course, he was more or less forced to step down. He made the terrible mistake in firing the Greens in the way he did. Again, no political nous. No understanding of people. Because they're all psychopaths, aren't they? They're all sociopaths. All of them have antisocial behaviour. None of them act like real human beings. And none of them understand the politics of patience. It's all now, me. And again, that helped push Humza Yousaf out. And then when you start looking at the things he did, which we have discussed many times, it gets worse and worse. And now, of course, clearly he's very, very, very worried. Worried so much indeed about his actions whilst First Minister that he's considering leaving Europe because it's so Islamophobic, which we know from previous videos is not it. He's leaving Europe because he knows he may well be guilty of funding terrorism and doesn't want to do 20 years in Barlini, but he has to gaslight and give all the more bullshit that he's done for years. But it just goes to show everything about this SNP government is just rancid with corruption. They say things rot from the head down, and it's certainly the case when you look at Sturgeon, Yousaf, and now Swinney. You wouldn't invite any of them into your home, would you? And you certainly wouldn't leave any of them with the family silver lying around. They're all in for themselves, and they're all, I think, dangerous people. So it's no wonder the people under them, their cabinet, their ministers, feel that they can treat themselves exactly the same. And it's no wonder civil servants, especially senior ones, do the same as well. There's this, we're all in it together. Let's all, take what we can get before we're all found out. But they do get found out. And then there's a price to pay, I suppose. For Matheson, it was his career. For Humza Yousaf, sorry. It was his leadership, and then soon, hopefully, his freedom. And we all know that Swinney is on a sugly peg as well. Anyway, let me know what you think, and we'll speak about this later. Till then, stay safe, stay well, and I will leave you with that. Thank you. Bye.